Hi guys, this is Josh from China Matters, and today I'm in central Beijing to meet a friend from back home who lives and breathes the city's famous Hutong alleyways. Hey, Zaki boy, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Andy?
Good, yeah? Good to see you today, man. Long time no see.
Long time no see.
Thanks for seeing me today. Oh, it's a nice little place.
Hey, hello， 好久不见。那个我带了一哥们过来，我们来2碗这个牛肉面。哎，
好，谢谢。How did you end up in the Hutongs?
Well, I think I came to Beijing in 2007, and at that time I stayed just in an old area called Dashalan, and that's probably one of the most historic areas of Beijing.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Oh, 谢谢。All right, let's have a taste.
Beijing's are pretty much traditionally it's just one of the easiest cities I've ever found to navigate around because everything runs across a sort of north-south axis. The Forbidden City in the centre, you've got Gulou and Zhonglou, the bell tower and the drum tower, directly on a northern axis from that. The Temple of Heaven runs directly south of that. Certain temples placed to the east and west, all sort of around this central axis, and then concentric rings running out from the central palace, and these are what form today's Hutongs. This area is very popular for people to walk around because historically a lot of generals, a lot of people of influence basically lived in many of these Hutongs. So this building on the right-hand side over here at one point was one of the residents of Chiang Kai-shek when he was up in Beijing, and it's built in sort of like a Western style. A lot of buildings. Back in the day, this would have been one traditional courtyard.
Zak considers himself his own historian of the Hutongs. The places that Zak showed me were what he called little gems not everyone knows about. But beyond just being an explorer, he's basing his life around these famous alleyways, and that, he says, is important if you want to capture the heart of a Beijing life.
So yeah, I'm inside this yard over here, all the way in. This is what they call in Beijing, 大宅院. This is where most of the people in here, most of the people inside here, you can see all the electricity meters for all the different people, all the different little spaces that are in this bit. There's probably another grid over on the other side, and these are the general public toilets that most people will use here. So I'm on one of those grids over there as well. So this is my spot, my door.
Wow, nice door.
There we go.
All right. Wow.
So welcome in.
Wow, this is nice. Very Western.
So yeah, I did the renovation on this place by myself basically. So it was a shell when I came in, and I kind of. Did you use this colour? Green colour. The green was actually there. I mean, for me, living in Beijing and living in China, if I was just living in a sort of flash apartment in a downtown part of the city, living a sort of very westernized type life, not really interacting with people, I wouldn't really see the purpose of me being in a foreign country. So for me, you're part of that process. You're firsthand every day living and breathing this kind of lifestyle around here. It hasn't changed, for a long time.
But the Hutongs are now continually evolving, as are people's tastes. Hutongs have become more trendy and is now appealing more and more to a younger crowd. And with his interest to try something new, Zak has opened a few bars, mixing the modern with the traditional. And his bars have been part of the Hutongs for over 10 years now. You see, the Hutong is kind of your world. You live there, you live in the Hutongs, you work in the Hutongs, so most of your time is spent in the Hutongs. So,
yeah.
In your opinion, what is the Hutong way of life? Let's say,
I think people of all different walks of life are living in the Hutongs. There's migrant workers living off small budgets, hard, long hours. There's artists that are spending all their time sitting at home doing creative things. And there's business people and diplomats and all types of different kinds of people living in this area. So I'd say it's like an old area of a city that's up and coming.
But perhaps what's not new to China are foreigners living in the Hutongs. I've been in China for a number of years now, and I've never lived in the Hutongs. But I've always been fascinated about why foreigners like living in these narrow alleyways. So much so that you would even think about raising a family in this old part of Beijing.
Hey Jack, hello Josh.
Good.
Good to see you. Welcome.
Wow, it's your home, huh?
Indeed.
Wow, thank you very much. So you got a rooftop as well?
We do. It was a big selling point of the house was that it had green space. Anyway,
I'm
come on
excited to find out more.
No, come on, help yourself.
Jack, along with his Chinese husband, are now bringing up their son and daughter, who are twins aged 4, and they plan to bring them up in the Hutongs for the foreseeable future.
So this is the living room, and then we've got my kitchen, my pride and joy. We've got a playroom for the kids.
Okay, upstairs, second floor,
master bedroom through there, kids' bedroom there, and then a bathroom there.
Okay.
Hey, take a seat, please, Josh.
Cheers, thank you. When you hear stories of people living in the Hutongs, it's usually like, single people or, but you actually bring up a family in a Hutong home. So, what are the challenges or what are the advantages or disadvantages, let's say?
People say, it must be difficult to cook every day in a Hutong, and I would say, no, it's difficult to cook every day if you're living in an apartment. If you're living in the Hutongs, it's the easiest thing in the world because I literally just have to walk 2 minutes down the road and I've got everything I need. But, if you want to eat well, you want your kids to eat well, it's great to be in the city centre and to be in a Hutong rather than being in an apartment complex. It's not like every city has to be like New York, Like that's a way of living. It's not the way of living. And I think slowly, like people in China are starting to realise, and by seeing, that you can have a really good living space in a Hutong.
What are you baking today then?
So, well, in honour of your British background, I thought scones would be the order.
Scones, I love scones. I mean, I drink tea every day.
Okay, well,
Earl Grey tea with some milk. Hence the afternoon tea, huh? Today, I want to ask you, is there such thing as a Hutong way of life? I mean, what would you say to people who ask you this question?
I would say that there is no one Hutong way of life. I think everybody brings something different with them when they move into a Hutong. In the evening, the old people, the young people, they all go out onto the street, especially in the summer, and they just chat. Everyone's sort of kind of up in everyone else's business, but it doesn't feel like intrusive.
Yeah, not like nosy or anything.
Yeah, so like our neighbours have watched our kids grow up and they take an interest, and we've seen the neighbours' kids grow up and we take an interest. So it's kind of just, I would say, the right level of human interaction, and because you're not all stacked on top of each other, like there's less of a problem with like noise, or as long as you're not, on your roof.
But after meeting Jack and Zak, I've been surprised at how settled they are living in the Hutongs, especially as foreigners. So perhaps in the future, I might find myself in these Hutongs. And the thing that I realized was that the Hutongs don't actually define you. You define what the Hutongs can be for you. I'm Josh, stay tuned with China Matters.